Hey everybody, welcome to today's edition of Notre Dame Daily, brought to you by FanArch. I'm Pete Mulroy, and I talked about this on previous episodes this week, but one of the ways the Irish will earn their fourth win of the season this weekend against the Wolfpack on October 11th, the Peacock exclusive, is by getting to quarterback C.J. Bailey. Now, while Bailey is undeniably capable of picking a team apart, he's that good, he's tall, he's athletic, and he keeps plays alive due to his mobility. He's a different quarterback when under duress. Again, most quarterbacks would be, but there is a distinct difference in some of his statistics from a drop back perspective and how he turns the ball over even when he's under duress. As a matter of fact, Bailey's thrown 4 interceptions this season. Each of those picks came on plays where the defense was applying steady pressure. That's not something to be dismissed. Up front, the protection for Bailey has been mostly solid, though right tackle Teague Anderson has had his fair share of struggles, especially as it pertains to surrendering pressure to his quarterback. For the Irish defense, specifically their first and second level defenders, cracking past the pack front five to cause disruption in the backfield, which, by the way, is also going to help in containing their really good running back, the nation's second leading rusher, Hollywood Smothers. That'll be a key part to success for Notre Dame inside Notre Dame Stadium on Saturday. The Gold and Blue have registered 9 sacks across their past 3 games, all wins. I think those go hand in hand pretty well. And 7 sacks in their past 2 against Arkansas and Boise, respectively. Playing with that level of consistency and pressure is going to be incredibly important when it comes to limiting the damage the Wolfpack offense can do, because they do have playmakers. Talk more about that on yesterday's program. If they're able to limit the abilities of Bailey, much like they did with Arkansas quarterback Taylon Green and Boise signal caller Maddox Matson, then a 4th straight win will very much be on the table, especially since, don't forget, the Irish are going into this one as a heavy favorite. Yes, that doesn't matter. That's why they play the games, but you're favored for a reason. Notre Dame's the better team. Now you just got to line up 11 on 11 and beat them, and containing the quarterback in C.J. Bailey, applying pressure to him and forcing him into decisions where under duress he might make a mistake like we've seen, is going to be a big part of how Notre Dame operates this weekend. Up front for Bailey is an offensive line that does have talent, but has had its fair share of struggles this year from an in and out perspective. And what I mean by that, I did discuss the idea that Teague Anderson has had his struggles as the anchor of the right side of the Wolfpack line. But overall, outside of those, the Wolfpack O-line has been pretty good, but they've gone through ups and downs because they've had some changeover at the left and right guard positions. Multiple players have rotated in and out of both guard spots, which, of course, can create confusion and inconsistency for an offense. On the whole, however, largely due to the steadiness of their center, Jalen Grant, who's a good player, along with the play of Bailey under center and Smothers out of the backfield, things have been okay. Junior left tackle Jagarius Peak is a solid player, 6'4", 310. Spike Soles Jr. has really risen. He's a true freshman who appears, at least in the last week or so, has locked down, oddly enough, the right guard spot. So having that peace of mind for Dave Doran and company at key positions up front is huge for their offense, especially now going up a defense this Saturday that has really started dialing up the pressure in recent weeks. There is absolutely no coincidence that Notre Dame dialing up the pressure and playing more consistent defensive football, fundamental communication, execution, and game planning has started to happen, and we've seen that. They're 3 for 3 from a wins perspective in their past 3 games. The offense has obviously been great, even with some setbacks last week. More on that momentarily. But it's really come down to how well this defense has played in recent weeks. More aggressive, better communication. You get results, and that's what's happened here. And North Carolina State knows they're probably going to see, once again, a defense of higher caliber than they've seen this season for the most part, and one that's going to look to come after them. They're going to look to apply pressure to the front five. They want to get in the backfield, this Notre Dame defense, and get to Bailey and disrupt Hollywood Smothers. Now, that's not Nostradamus here. That's how you're going to beat this team. And if you can get them on the move and force them into tough decisions, you can create havoc and cause turnovers. Dealing with their offensive line and disruption up front for this Notre Dame defense is going to go a long way in doing that. How do you do it? Changing up stunts, blitz packages. That'll be part of the plan for the Irish. Look, again, you're going to see a talented offensive line, but one that hasn't seen the consistency in numbers, specifically up the gut at the left guard and right guard spots through 6 games this season. That does factor in. That is a big deal. Guys have stepped up for NC State, but there has been inconsistency and a lack of consistent playing time for the group of 5 throughout this season. They have a 4-2 record. We'll see how that transpires this weekend against the most talented team NC State will play this weekend in Notre Dame. Talk about Notre Dame's offense looking to sort of step up a bit more this weekend. And I don't mean to read too much into what we saw last weekend against Boise State. The defense was great, and the offense certainly did what they absolutely needed to do. And you talk about C.J. Carr playing incredibly well as a first-time starting quarterback. Sure, you're going to have ups and downs, some throws you'd like to have back, and some decisions you'd like to revisit. Introduce me to a quarterback who hasn't experienced this at any level of the sport. And while the progression has been impressive, Carr is, in a way, looking for something of a bounce back, dare I use that term, game Saturday in South Bend. That's not to say that he wasn't productive. That would be absurd. Against Boise State, the offense did what it needed to do for the most part to win the game in fairly comfortable fashion. Of course, receiving steady help from the defense all game didn't hurt either. But for Carr, there were some throws he missed, ones we've seen him make in previous games. Now, despite these, again, I'll put it in quotes, struggles, which again are going to happen, especially for a kid who, by the way, if you need a refresher, has only started 5 games in his collegiate career. He still put up 15 of 23 passing for a $189, 2 scores, most importantly, no turnovers. Even when he wasn't at his best, C.J. Carr was still productive and did more than enough to guide the Irish to their 3rd straight victory. His rapport with both Malachi Fields and Jordan Faison has been fun to watch, as his able to spread the ball around to those players, along with tight end Eli Raritan, Will Pauling. Obviously, we'd like to see Jaden Greathouse get back in the fold, K.K. Smith. I think we've all enjoyed what we've seen in the rise of Will Pauling. You see how lethal that kid can be when he's involved with his speed, route running in good hands. C.J. Carr, willing to spread the ball around and get it to his playmakers, is a huge part of that. Even on an off day, the Irish put up 28 points and they win by 3 scores. This weekend, I really expect Carr to play with an incredible level of confidence while looking to tear apart an NC State secondary that has really had its fair share of issues on the back end. I talked about that a little bit on previous episodes this week. It was a revamped secondary, mostly due to guys exiting via the portal. They brought some talent in, but you've had some inconsistency, specifically at the corner position. 2 good safeties back there, but they don't force turnovers on the outside. As a matter of fact, this is an NC State team that's only forced 3 interceptions this season. C.J. Carr has done a damn good job in protecting the football. So I think that's a matchup collectively with the fact that you have a young quarterback, but a talented quarterback who can drive the ball down the field through the air, spread the ball out to receivers he trusts while protecting it. I think you'll like the matchup here with Carr and the offense, especially that run game and an offensive line that's played with more confidence lately against the secondary that has really struggled at times throughout the season. And just wrapping today, it's becoming somewhat habitual here. More love for Leonard Moore shortly after being named the Walter Camp FBS Defensive Player of the Week for his 2-pick performance against Boise State. Moore was tabbed the Jim Thorpe Award Defensive Back of the Week. The sophomore corner really was unreal against the Broncos. 6 tackles and a forced fumble in addition to his 2 interceptions. His presence on the field, and you've all seen this and we can agree here, and the level of play he displays each time out has been a true game changer for an Irish defense that finally looks to have found its footing. Leonard Moore is a big part of that, perhaps the biggest part of that, especially in that secondary. He steps up when it matters most, be it in short yardage situations, 3rd downs, or when the defense simply absolutely needs a stop. His nose for the football and efficient tackling skills, truly at that position, at the corner position, are the best in America. So it's no surprise that he continues to rack up honors like the ones earned this week. So again, congratulations to Leonard Moore. As far as this show is concerned, that's a wrap for now, folks. Have a great rest of your day. It's been a pleasure once again. Keep subscribing, keep tuning in. I love the commentary, the back and forth. I truly appreciate it. I'll see you all tomorrow. And as always, go Irish.